Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a hard-rated problem called minimum cost to convert string to. This is a complex one because it combines string manipulation, graph theory and dynamic programming all into one package. But don't worry, we're going to break it down piece by piece until it makes perfect sense. First, let's understand what we're trying to do. We are given two strings, a source string and a target string. Our goal is to transform the source into the target. We can't just change things randomly though. We are given specific rules. Each rule says we can change a specific substring into another substring for a certain cost. For example, we might be able to change ABC to def for a cost of 5. The problem asks for the minimum total cost to make the entire source string match the target string exactly. If it's impossible, we return -1. The rules for applying these changes are crucial. We are allowed to perform as many operations as we want, but they must either be completely separate, meaning they don't overlap at all, or they must be exactly identical, covering the exact same indices. Practically speaking, this means we can treat the string as a series of disjoint chunks. We just need to figure out the best way to chop up the string so that every chunk can be converted to the target at the lowest possible cost. Let's walk through an example to see how this works. We want to turn A, B, C, D into A, C, B, E. Look at the first character, B, A. In the target, it's also A. Since they match, the cost is 0. We don't need to do anything there. Now look at the second character. We have B in the source and C in the target. Do we have a rule for this? Yes, we can change B to C for a cost of 5. Okay, keep that in mind. Next we have C in source and B in target. We don't have a direct rule to change C to B. However, we can change C to E for a cost of 1, and then E to B for a cost of 2. That's a total of 3. Finally, D needs to become E. There's a rule for that with a cost of 20. Adding these up gives us 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 20, which is 28. Just a quick heads up. We'll be walking through the solution using Python logic because it's very readable. But don't worry if that's not your main language. I'll be showing the full code for Java, C++, and JavaScript towards the end of the video, and the logic applies everywhere. The editorial suggests a powerful combination of 3 techniques: a trie, Floyd's algorithm, and dynamic programming. Here's the high-level intuition. First, we have many string rules. Working with strings is slow, so we'll use a trie to give every unique substring a unique number ID. Second, since we can chain conversions, like going from A to B then B to C, we need to find the cheapest path between any two substrings. This is a shortest path graph problem, and we'll use Floyd-Warshall for that. Finally, we use dynamic programming to decide where to chop our source string to get that minimum total cost. Let's zoom in on the graph part. Imagine every unique substring involved in our rules is a node in a graph. If we have a rule that changes string ABC to def with cost 5, that's a directed edge from the ABC node to the def node with weight 5. But remember, maybe there's a cheaper way to get there by going through another string. Floyd-Warshall is an algorithm that lets us calculate the absolute minimum cost to get from any node to any other node, considering all possible intermediate stops. This pre-calculation is super useful for our next step. Now for the dynamic programming. We'll create an array, let's call it DP, where the value at index I represents the minimum cost to convert the first I characters of our source string. To find the value for DP at I, we look backwards. We check every possible ending chunk. For example, does the last one character match? Does the last 2 characters form a valid conversion pair? Does the last 3? If we find a chunk that corresponds to a valid conversion in our graph, we take the cost of converting that chunk and add it to the cost of fixing everything that came before it. We take the minimum of all these possibilities. Before we get into the code, let's talk about the real reason people fail at Leetcode. It's not because they can't reverse a linked list, it's because they break their daily streak. I built my daily to-do specifically to solve this. You can set Solve Daily Leetcode as a routine task. This means it reminds you to complete your routine tasks every day. It's a dedicated system to force you to be consistent, which I also use to remind myself to upload these videos every day. If you're watching this channel, you're trying to improve, so this tool makes sure you actually show up to do it. I also want to be 100% transparent about how this app will grow. I am an indie developer, not a big corporation. I will never take away a free feature you already use. Core features like repeating tasks remain free forever. However, As I add new server-heavy features, they will be part of the premium plan to help cover the costs of running the app. Also, the price of premium will go up every time I ship a major new feature, so the best time to get involved is right now, while it's early. Check it out at the link in the description. Okay, we've talked about the big picture and the logic. Now let's see what this looks like as actual code. I'll put the full solution up on the screen first, and don't worry. After that, we'll walk through the most important sections together. Alright, here is the full Python code implementing the logic we discussed. It looks like a lot, but it's just those three components: try, graph, and DP, stacked together. Don't worry about absorbing it all at once. We are going to break it down into manageable chunks right now. First, we set up the try. We use a list called child to store the tree structure, and TID to store the ID of a string if it ends at that node. The add function is standard, try insertion. We loop through characters, moving down the tree. If we reach the end of a word and it doesn't have an ID yet, we assign it 1. This ensures that even if ABC appears multiple times in our input, it always gets the same unique integer ID. Next is the Floyd-Warshall algorithm. We first initialize a distance matrix with infinity. Then, we fill in the direct costs given to us by the problem input. After that, we run the classic triple loop. We iterate through every possible intermediate node k, and for every pair of start node I and end node j, we check, is it cheaper to go from I to k, and then from k to j than our current best path? If so, we update the cost. This gives us the global minimum conversion costs. Finally, the DP loop. We iterate through our string from left to right. At each index I, if we've reached this point validly, meaning the cost isn't infinity, we look ahead. First, if the characters match exactly, we can just step forward with 0 extra cost. Then, we start a loop j that extends forward. We simultaneously walk down the try for both the source substring and the target substring. If at any point j, both substrings end on a valid ID, we look up the pre-calculated cost between them in our dis matrix and update our DP array. Handling edge cases is critical here. First, what if a conversion is impossible? Our distance matrix will hold infinity for that pair, so we simply check for that before updating our DP. Second, what if the string itself can't be partitioned validly up to a certain point? Our DP value at that index will be infinity, so we skip processing it. And finally, after checking everything, if the last value in our DP array is still infinity, it means there's no way to convert the entire string, so we must return -1. So how fast is these solutions? Let m be the number of unique rule strings, and n be the length of the source string. The Floyd-Warshall part takes m cubed time. Building the try takes m times l, where l is the length of the rule strings. The DP part takes n squared time in the worst case because of the nested loop. For space, we need n for the DP array, m squared for the distance matrix, and m times l to store the try. Given the constraints usually found in these problems, this is efficient enough. Alright, that covers the main solution in Python. As promised, for those of you who code in other languages, I'm about to show the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. I won't be breaking these down, so just pause the video on your language of choice to check it out. Alright, as promised, here is the full solution in Java. You can pause the video here to take a closer look at the implementation. Next up, here is the C++ version of the solution. Again, feel free to pause and review the code. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. Hopefully seeing it in a few different languages helps solidify the concepts. So let's wrap it up. We learned 3 big things today. First, tries are amazing for quickly identifying substrings inside a loop. Second, using a graph algorithm like Floyd-Warshall lets us pre-calculate complex conversion chains, so our main loop doesn't have to worry about them. And finally, when you see a problem about converting a string in chunks, dynamic programming is usually your best friend. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems, so if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. If you want to support the channel, a few people have asked how I plan my solutions. I'm a big fan of sketching out the logic and data structures on a tablet before I code. It really helps. I've put affiliate links in the description to the tablet I use and a few other good options. Using those links doesn't cost you anything extra but really helps me out. Or, if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.